All righty. Good. I just sent it to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Sorry about that. Bye.
Okay, Chris is going to try and join her in a minute. Has anybody talked to Sasha?
There she is.
Figured it out.
Josh.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi, Sam.
Has your group with the county met about the grant deal?
I submitted all the information that I got, and then we're going to have our first meeting next week.
Okay.
So I will, I'll send out an email as soon as I have some information back. One thing that I know is that we were not able to include the additional costs for our election.
Okay.
There's different state monies that we're supposed to get for that. And George put me in touch with the person in the Secretary of State's office to try and get reimbursed for that expense.
Okay.
So that was the only thing on our list that they said no.
Okay.
Did you talk to anyone on the transportation committee?
I did not. I emailed them and said that I was the new person and have not heard back yet.
And I did that today because I got a third notice of how to get on to the next meeting.
Okay.
So I told them to contact you and forward any information, and if
okay,
then I'm sure they can.
Thank you, because I hadn't emailed them until this morning.
Okay. Yeah, and I did it this afternoon.
Oh, good.
So we're on. That's good.
It makes us look on top of it, Marty. Good job.
It does. Thank you, and thanks for doing that. It's a good group. And
and it's something that for different reasons that I'm involved with, so it's good.
Oh yeah, no, it was okay. I did a lot. There was a lot accomplished in the short time that I was there by that group. So
yeah.
Okay.
Sam.
Yeah.
Mark Hubbard from Turner Morris said that he's available to answer any questions if we have any about the bid. If we'd like to call him.
Okay.
Or send him a link.
Hey guys, I'm here for a minute.
All right.
Hi there.
Okay.
Hey, Chris.
I sent out a couple of emails shortly before we started here. Did everybody get the one? I sent out one with another idea or proposal maybe for the roof. Did everybody get that one?
Yes.
I did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got it.
It's another idea to throw out there that I think would be a good viable option that would save us some money.
It would be. I mean, go ahead, Sasha.
My concern is that for insurance purposes, we can't have it done with volunteers. And being right on the creek at High Creek terrifies me.
Before we get into this discussion, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Oh, good idea.
Here now.
You betcha.
Okay. Looks like all the boards present. Yes.
Here.
Yep. Here.
Okay.
Here.
All right. I don't have the agenda right in front of me, so we'll just kind of wing it here. Go ahead with the discussion that you was in before we called it to order.
I was just saying that for insurance purposes and safety purposes, I don't think that we can have it done by volunteers. That's something that's been suggested in the past for different work on different buildings, and I don't feel that it's safe or correct.
Okay. I would agree with that, and I would also think about the timely manner of it. It's a lot harder to get volunteers moving and going and get something done versus somebody who's waiting for the end check to finish up the job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let me go into a little more detail there because I kind of have some of that figured out. The ones that I see doing it would be a 3-man crew. Tay is an employee, me and my daughter as volunteers.
Right.
So
I'm kind of thinking too that having it be somewhat covered so that if we have additional problems that they would come back out and fix it.
I would think the warranty is definitely worth paying somebody to do it.
Yeah,
that's
they
a
all-
good
yeah.
point. Like I said, throwing that out as a option.
I appreciate, Sam, the money saving option, but I think that we really need to have it done by a contractor and yeah, that's my opinion.
Licensed and bonded. and
I
all
feel
that
the
good
same
stuff.
way. I mean, I love the idea of having a volunteer deal to do this, and I know this town's built off of a lot of volunteerness, but I think this is a project we need to get done ASAP and done with a professional company.
Okay. That being said, do we have specific questions for? We'll start out with the bid from John's company, Turner Morris. Do we have any specific
Okay.
questions for them? Should we get them on the line?
I do, Sam, unless I missed something. I would like to have a better sense of how much of their cost is associated with, putting on the plywood and all that stuff so that we're better able to compare with Sean's bid. But if I missed that, just ignore me.
I think that was one of the questions that we had that I don't think we've gotten an answer for.
Would you like me to, Mark said to call him and send him the link if we would like to talk to him. Is that something that everybody would like?
Yes,
Sarah
Okay.
would.
if you would please.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second and I will do that.
Okay.
Did Sean Platt join the meeting tonight?
I don't see him on the list, no.
But didn't you say we can get a hold of him? Or someone say that?
Sasha's trying to get a hold of him.
I can give Sean a quick ping to see if he's able to join us.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Okay, well, while they're trying to get those people on, I had Tammy put one other thing on the agenda that I think would be real quick to get out of the way. The coffee bar would like to be able to put tables out on the sidewalk in front of their establishment and ask for board approval to be able to do that. Is there any objections to them doing that?
No, but the town would assume no liability for someone falling off their chair
Sarah?
or anything, would they?
Yeah?
Are you able to send a Zoom link to Mark?
Oh,
I
sure.
can't invite.
Yeah, sure, I can send a link to him.
Thank you.
Um,
Oh, maybe I can't. No, it says no.
So, Sash, does he have a cell phone number I should send a link to, or?
Either that or to an email.
Okay, either or is fine.
His email is markh@turnermorris.com.
Good, and it's MORRIS, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I would like to ask the board too, are we going to allow them to actually take the parking spaces in front of the restaurant and use those as well so that he can actually put like more tables out there than just the sidewalk worth?
I wouldn't be opposed.
Technically, we're not supposed to have any parking in there anyways. There's supposed to be no parking from there past the KP to the corner there.
I don't believe that there should be anything in the street.
And I agree with that.
Okay. If
Part
we're
of
gonna
our
have
issue with
tables
that
on the
intersection
sidewalk, though,
is-
we probably shouldn't have anything parked in front of them.
Yeah,
Right.
but part of our issue with that intersection anyway is emergency vehicle access and the turning radius is so small. So to
Right.
have people there seems more dangerous than having cars there, and we said no cars,
Okay,
in
Yep.
my opinion.
Okay, so I
Have
will
we-
let them know that they can put tables on the sidewalk as long as there's nothing parked in front of the sidewalk. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, and they can only do it in front of their business, so from Silver Street down to the church.
Right.
Yeah,
Was that the coffee bar? That was the coffee bar, not the bar.
Right, the coffee bar.
Okay.
right. Are
Okay.
there no parking signs up yet?
Yes, I believe they are.
I saw one and which said what it needed to say. It's temporary, but it's there.
yeah, they're a little
Okay.
low, but they're definitely there.
They're
Yeah.
not pretty, but they're there.
They're just
All
like
that matters.
3 feet tall instead of, the sign
Yeah.
height.
It's always nice to combine form with function, but in this case, function is at the apex.
The 3
Like,
feet high was intentional so it doesn't block the other sign, the stop sign and such.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
Yep.
Sorry, 1 second. The link that he got didn't work, so I'll try and send him another one.
Sash, that was right off of the agenda, the new one.
I,
If it was off the agenda, it probably is the wrong one. Tasting
No.
out,
No, Sam, it's the replacement one that Tay sent.
okay,
That I
Alright.
included in my email to him.
okay.
I will
The
double
phone
check.
stayed the same.
2 seconds.
Okay, and as long as we're still waiting for him to join, Tammy had a few things she wanted to touch on. Tammy, why don't you go ahead and get that out of the way?
Well, after the meeting the other night, excuse me, I looked at my list of things to do, and the 1 month timeline for the ordinance project is a little bit optimistic. And there's a couple reasons that I think so. It's a big job, and I can start giving him to Stasha if she has time to scan, and we can get working on it.
There
But
he is.
Okay,
I think
good.
maybe you are going to have a few more ordinances to pass and things to clean up as far as we've got going and the updates to the codes and so forth. So I think 30 days is a little bit quick, quite a quick timeline. If we're going to pay for updates and maintenance, we should get all of what we're going to do at least this year gathered up before we turn it over to them. So that's all I wanted to say, because I have about 150 things left sitting on my desk that I need to get done today, and this week is over. So I'm a little bit backed up, and the office is in a little bit of a state of chaos. So
Okay,
some of the things out of that closet are still in the back room, and some of the stuff in that room is trash. A lot of that stuff is dusty and moldy and wet. So we need a
Tammy?
little time. We need a little time to work through the logistics of each one of these problems.
okay, Tammy. Can we pick up where you left off here in a little bit? We got Mark Hubbard online here. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of.
Yes.
Okay, hi, Mark. This is Sam, Mayor of Silver Plume.
Hey, Sam, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I
Yep.
believe so.
Okay, good.
All right. There's a few questions from the board for you, and I'll turn it over to members of the board to ask questions if you don't mind. Okay, who has questions for Mark?
What would be your start date?
Right now we're in the middle of summer, so we have quite a bit going on this summer. It's a project that we potentially could get involved in on weekends if time frame was huge. If you wanted the most honest answer for us to just get there and get it knocked out, we probably would be looking more towards, like, I'd say early mid-August. However, if that was something that was really important, we could have further discussions and try and move it up in the schedule, because it is clear that the existing roof is in pretty tough shape.
Yeah, we haven't yet hit monsoon season, and I forget when it is, but oops, we don't want that
Right.
to happen. And especially that would also hold off mitigating the interior also. So I think that we had agreed that time is one of the decisive parameters, or significant or crucial, critical. That's it.
Sure. Okay.
If I'm misstating something, please let the other board members I stand chastised, or ready to be chastised.
I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest concerns is getting it dried in, not necessarily completed, but having it.
Right. Having it watertight.
Yeah,
Let me
because
go
it
in-
is
let me go
damaging
inside,
where
so
we
it's-
hold records. So
Good point.
that is, I mean, whoever can have it dried in first, I think is.
Frank,
Yeah, and that's actually something that so the roof system that we proposed, which John and I did both speak about what we thought would be the best long-term solution. We both really like standing seam roofs because if you do them right, they last forever. I mean, they'll outlive all our kids, and so that's why we proposed that. We know there's some additional costs. As far as the drying goes, to answer your question, Sasha, that is something that wouldn't take very long. It's not the largest portion of the project, and so we really could probably get that done. Gosh, probably within a week or two. It doesn't take us long to get materials. And so that is something that we could make happen very quickly if that was important.
Yeah, that would be the biggest point for me. I don't know about everybody else, but just getting it even dried in at this point.
Right. And that would be easy, and we could set it up so that we dried it in such a way that it would hold up until we were ready and able to install the metal panels.
And once you could start on.
We could start that fairly soon. I would say probably within a week of getting the signed contract, if that was key. Because again, I did look. John sent me photos of that roof, and it's clear it's leaking. So we would treat that as an emergency, just based on the condition of the current roof.
Okay,
Leaking
great.
now
Thank
and
you.
more of it's blowing off.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty rough looking.
Okay, I have a question. In your bid, you included 3/4 inch plywood underlayment.
Yes.
We had the SORSA adjuster up here last week looking at it for insurance, and he's of the opinion that the underlayment is still good. It's only half wood or half-inch plywood, but he's under the impression that it's still good. Is the 3/4 inch necessary? Is it something that we really need to be doing?
You know, we're not a structural engineer, and so I think I could answer that. I could answer that either way, but honestly, any contractor who's being honest would need to say, you know what, I'm not a structural engineer. We don't know the exact snow load that this can hold. The reason I went with the 3/4 inch plywood was because John, I know, did an inspection of this himself and did indicate, hey, this decking that's here, it's not going to be good to hold a really quality metal roof long term. And so he thought adding something on top of it to really support the structure better, support the new roof better, would be worthwhile. If you wanted somebody to give you a definitive answer on that, honestly, I think hiring a structural engineer would be the right choice. That being said, we could potentially go over the existing substrate of the existing half-inch decking, but it is extremely small, and it probably would result in the metal panels not looking quite as nice as they would if they did receive new plywood and additional support. So as far as the structural portion of it goes, that does lie more with a structural engineer. But as far as the aesthetics, we think it would be helpful. And then just John looking at the building, you know, obviously I think everybody knows John and they know that he's conscious of these things and very knowledgeable with these things. I trust his judgment, and if he says that the 3/4 inch plywood would be beneficial, I think that's for a reason, because we certainly install standing seam metal roofs over existing plywood all the time, and he really thought that was necessary. So I defer to him too on that, and I trust his judgment there.
great. And Mark, this is Sarah Whalen, and hi, thank you for doing this. And
oh, you bet.
And not only because of Sasha and John, we think the world of your work. I mean, you guys have such a great reputation. We've seen your work. looking at trying to compare our alternatives, is it, the other bidder, just to be frank, did not suggest putting fresh underlayment on. And so part of what we're trying to assess, in addition to the benefits of working with you guys, that I think we all understand, is the price comparison. So if you were
Sure.
to proceed without putting the plywood down, can you give us just a sense of how much that would take off the 36 some odd $1,000?
Not offhand, but I can very quickly. If you'll
Okay,
excuse me,
okay.
I'm sorry, I'm shaking around. I'm going to open my computer. So I should have done that before I started the call. Let me bring up that estimate, and then hopefully I can field any other questions that
Oh,
anybody has
Super.
while we.
Appreciate you doing that.
Oh yeah, no problem. So if I'm not looking at the screen, sorry, it's because I'm looking at my computer screen trying to bring up this estimate so I can take that out.
Did anyone look at the roof joists to see if this water infiltration had compromised them at all?
No, I don't believe they have.
Okay.
John said he did not.
Okay.
So I don't know about Sursa and I don't know about the business side of this, but if you're like a normal resident and the roofer finds additional damage above, they usually work with the insurance company to get a new estimate from the insurance company. Is
And
this
I
something?
was told by Sursa if we found additional damage to let him know and he would adjust his payment.
Because I
Well,
could
that's
see
good to know.
perhaps they didn't see the underlying, all the damage that could be done to that plywood.
Right, and he did acknowledge that and said if we did find more damage to let him know.
Okay.
They can't see me, but they know. Sorry about that. My grandson's putting his 2 cents worth in.
Did you ask Mac?
Oh, Mac,
Just like a normal-
listening, but he's not commenting yet.
Okay. He's fence sitting. Okay.
It's just a normal board meeting.
Oh, I have an answer. So it looks like our price would drop probably between $10,000 and $11,000 if we excluded the 3/4 inch plywood.
Okay, that's
So-
real helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that all of the questions we have for Mark?
I guess, Sam, one last question from me is, I mean, I understand that the fundamental drying it in can happen in the near term. I just worry that, is that secure enough for a, into August kind of timeframe? Should we be concerned about that as potential exposure?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the underlayment that we would be installing, and again, there are other ways we could come up with some cost savings if that was the key. Obviously, the plywood is one thing. The type of underlayment that I proposed is again something that's hopefully designed to make this roof last 50 plus years. So we could back off on the underlayment, but just so you know, the underlayment that I bid is designed to be exposed for a minimum or for up to 90 days. So we would have 3 months. So, if we got this dried in a week from today, the 19th of June, we would have until September 19th to cover that up.
Okay,
And
okay.
so yeah, we'd be covered there.
Gotcha. Thanks.
And we
Those
do
are all
have
my
alternative.
questions.
Yeah, we do have alternative options that are less money that still would be able to hold up for a few months until the panels could actually be installed.
Right. Thank you so much, Mark. That's great.
Sure.
Okay, I have a question. If we went with your full plan, and say we got a hailstorm in the middle of July and it damaged what you already had up and it leaked, would you take any responsibility for that?
We would, yes, we have an inland marine policy, so anything that gets ruined during the during the construction process would be covered. So yeah, if it did need a secondary layer of underlayment, that would be covered. It wouldn't be an additional cost to you guys.
Okay. Any more questions for Mark?
I'm all good.
I'm good.
Nope. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, hope we get to work together.
All right, we'll let you know.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Mark.
You
All
bet.
right.
Bye bye.
Be safe.
You too.
Okay, Sarah, was you able to get a hold of Sean? Or? Oh, look at that. Sasha's sitting there with a cocktail, and I'm sitting here. Thankfully, I don't have video.
How do
on
you
my
know it's a
computer.
cocktail? Maybe I'm just having a Coca-Cola in a glass.
Thankfully, I don't
Yeah,
have video.
yeah,
so
right.
I'm sitting here with a cocktail and my skivvies. I'm kind of starting to like this computer.
All the more
meeting.
reason not to meet in person.
Oh, that's funny.
And I like it that nobody can see what I'm doing.
So do we.
I don't want to know.
And
So
I was
do
going to
we.
say, and my primary concern is for your eyes. I don't want to sear memories into your brains. You can never download or delete.
Appreciate you.
I'm driving a tow truck, and I'm gonna have to get off here pretty quick, guys. I'm almost where I need to be.
Okay. Before you get off, just for the record, what's your choice where we stand right now?
Myself, I know it's going to be a bigger cost, but I think that we need to really think about the bigger cost and what we get with it with the whole, where I would like to go ahead and go with the new 3/4 inch underlayment underneath everything and make this the best we can so we don't have to do it for another, 50 to 60 years. I would like to do is the most we can do for it with Turner Morris myself. I think that's our best choice, and we'll have the insurance company cover what we need them to cover, and we'll pick up the rest of it. Yeah, I'm not against running fundraisers to try to raise some money for it, and then just have the town pick up the rest of it, whatever we may do. But that's my feelings on it.
Okay.
So, whatever you guys end up feeling. Sorry I got to cut this short, but I will talk to you all soon.
Thanks,
All right.
Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
You. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Safe.
And I'll be by there.
I
soon.
will. Thanks. We'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Bye. Okay, Sarah.
Sam, sorry.
Was you able, or did you try and get a hold of Sean?
I was just ringing him up. Can I have a quick minute?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, Tammy, why don't you continue where you left off?
Sasha had a question about the ordinances. You want to go ahead, Sash?
Oh, no, I didn't have a question, Tammy. Sorry. It was that I had seen that Mark had signed into the meeting and didn't
Oh,
want
okay.
him to be waiting, listening to us. 'Cause yeah, so that was it. Sorry.
That's okay. I just think it's a big project and I need to spend some time. And I'd like to get the most recent ordinances at least together and organized. And I just don't have the time right now to stop doing something else and devote time to that. So in the next 30 days, even 60 days, there's a lot of things going on with the audit and the other updates and the water billing and the COVID stuff. So I'm, as always, a little behind. So I don't think it's going to take 5 months, but I think just a little bit more of a timeline out so Rick knows what to do with it. By then you'll be into budget time and you can talk about which package you want to enter with that muni code company. And by then maybe we'll have the ordinances together and in a form that we can just send them to them.
Tammy, I'm happy to help you with it too. You know, I have Mondays and Friday. I work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but on Mondays and Fridays, I'm around and I can, if you point me in a direction, I will get going.
Can you scan them at home?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the older ones have to be taken out of those bound books. So I imagine that would keep you
Okay.
busy for a little while, and we can just like start with the ones that I've got, and then I need to get out of there anyway. Maybe it's a little more safe at your house right now.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I have children.
But no, yes, we can certainly give you a book or two to start with, and then when you're done with those, you could just bring them back to me.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that.
Yeah,
I would so much appreciate that.
Tammy, I can do that at my house as well.
Okay, I can certainly use your help. I appreciate that. Other
Tammy, I
questions?
believe this is a big project, maybe even bigger than what anybody imagines right now. I don't think we're on a real tight timeline to get it done. I think what's more important is getting it done right. I think once we get all the ordinances together, the board's gonna have some work to do there, figuring out which ones still apply, which ones need modification, and such as that, so.
Well, you know, a few years ago, the board suspended all the penalties on the water bills. And I had some questions about some of the things that affect the way our code would work if they were resolutions rather than ordinances. So I think first I'd like to come up with another list of questions for Rick and Muni Code and make sure that we get everything done in a very not, I mean, we've got ordinances going back to the 1800s, so there's quite a few of them.
Right.
And
And
I
as I
think we,
mentioned at the last board meeting, starting this next week, I'm off on Mondays and I plan on devoting most of my Mondays to town business. So I'll be at the town hall driving you crazy and doing what I can to help out. Mostly driving you crazy, but trying to help out too.
well, I appreciate that too.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Tammy,
And
will you be
thank
there
the
on
people.
Monday?
As far as I know, I'm planning to be, yes.
Until something changes. Life's curveballs.
Yeah, you never
Okay,
know.
I will, I'll try and come down there right around 10
Okay,
and you can, give me whatever there is to give me and we'll go from there.
all right. Do you want to just start making us a database? Or,
Yeah, I think that that'll be the best plan.
okay,
And thanks, Sarah and Sasha, for volunteering to
yes,
assist
that's
in
I
this
second
project.
that.
a big help.
Sarah, are you back on?
Do we have another person?
Another person?
Says 9 over here.
Wow. It's Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump.
Maybe it's Bernie, you don't know.
I
Hey,
was
it
un-
could,
I was unable to get a hold of Sean, so I left a message. So I suspect he's not available to us this evening.
thanks for trying.
Okay, Sarah,
Yeah,
could you take charge for a minute? My computer's telling me the battery's getting low. I gotta find my charger and plug it in.
okay, all righty. A question for us. I wonder, what else do we need to cover? What haven't we covered?
I think that it's unfortunate because I would have liked to have Sean do a presentation, but it's not. He's not
Yeah.
available,
So how about,
unfortunately.
how about if we, share our opinions about Sean's bid to help inform our decision? People want to just share reactions on that?
I gotta get.
Did, I was, sorry, starting over. We were gonna ask him for a bid with more detail in it. Did that ever end up happening and he
I-
didn't respond, or did we never ask?
I did not, and I do not know the answer to that.
Okay.
Tammy, do
I
you?
did not, and we were waiting for the insurance adjuster and the extent of the work that need to be done. And Sam got in there and took some of the drywall out, but that's as far as we got.
Okay, so that's probably, Sasha, a good question for Sam. Can we hold on
I'll
to that?
ask again when he comes back.
Okay, good. Any other reactions to or questions to Sean's bid based on what we have?
Does
Could
any,
you remind me, of what his total estimate was?
Yeah, sure. He provided
Okay, I got it.
three estimates, as I recall. One was the top, which was about $12,000, included no underlayment replacement, but the appropriate underlayment to the same rollover metal covering that Sean's
Mhm.
John and Mark's place would use. So that was
Right.
something like $13,000. And then he provided a tar paper covering, which is historically correct. And it's more like, does somebody else have the bid available? It's more like,
I do.
I don't
Yes.
know,
yeah, I
6,000.
have,
Kathy,
Sorry, I was just looking for it in my email and couldn't find it.
and
it's,
No,
Kathy has it.
it looks like it's June 4th. So yeah, his option 1 is the metal. Option 2 was shingles, and it was the 3,500 plus the 2,000 of everything at the top. And then the last one is the bear skin, which was 5,726 plus
Gotcha.
2,000 at top.
And Kathy, can you remind us of the top cost, the metal roof?
The top is the metal roof is 11,165.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's what. That's it.
And the,
Okay, if I
Plus
could
the
continue my
2,000.
question, here.
Sure.
If he's coming in at 11,000 something for the top, his top bid,
No, his top- I'm sorry.
without the new plywood,
His top
I
would
give
be
up.
13. Okay, now continue.
okay,
Frank, it was 13,000 plus is the actual.
okay.
Yeah.
So if we take the if we look at the 13,000 plus the 10,000 for the 3/4 inch plywood underlay, which he does not include, which would, it sounds, from what we've heard, it sounds like we should probably have a new plywood underlay. So that would bring if he actually did the plywood underlay at the same $10,000 rate, that brings him up to 23,000 in change. So we're within $10,000 between the two bids.
Yes.
So that's just the way I'm kind of analyzing it in my mind right now.
And
So-
on top of that, Frank, he is available to do the whole job quickly. So he would do the underlayment, whatever that was, plywood plus, and then would be able to continue with the roof covering. I think fairly quickly. What he said to me was it might take 2 or 3 weeks for the metal sheathing to come in. So there would be that kind of a delay. But anyway, those were my only 2 cents worth additions. And Sam's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize for that. my computer ran out of juice and shut off. Then I went to turn it back on. Of course, it was time for updates. I hate that.
Yes, our helpers rule our lives, don't they now, folks? Think
Yeah.
about that.
So
Sam,
Sam,
I,
What did I miss?
I just,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Sarah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sasha.
yes, Sash, go ahead.
My question was, when we left the last meeting, we had said that we were going to ask Sean Platt for some more detail on his bid because we had asked him for a quick bid and he did provide that very quickly for us. But to your knowledge, was he ever asked to supply more detail with regard to warranty and timeline?
Or for the inside work that we were gonna determine needed to be done?
I thought at the last meeting, we decided that the inside work would be separate so that we were
Right.
comparing apples to apples and not roof and drywall to roof and roof.
Yes,
I think it
Correct.
was that way, yes.
Okay.
Sam, you're on mute. Are you talking to us?
I'm sorry, the dogs are raising heck.
Did you hear my question, Sam?
Yes, give me just a second.
Okay.
Well, in the interim, I'll just go ahead. I agree with everything that Chris said. That's basically, I had the same thing. I would make one additional a bit of information in terms of that underlayment. We live in a freeze and thaw cycle. If water prior to the leak got under there, I just would feel much more comfortable with doing the underlayment and with the information available and the reputation, I would recommend Turner Morris also.
Yeah, because that current underlayment must be at least 30
Yeah.
years old at least, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's
I-
older than me.
I wish it was older than me.
All right, I apologize for that. I think I'm back. Sasha, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Did we ever reach out to Sean Platt for further detail on his bid? We had said after the last meeting that he put together a bid quickly for us like we had asked. But we were going to ask him for more warranty and more detailed information. Did that ever happen?
I had asked Tammy to reach out to him, and she sent me a copy of an email that she sent to him asking him to join this meeting so we could ask those questions. And obviously, he hasn't joined the meeting.
Okay.
So that
I just wanted to make sure that we were giving both contractors fair opportunity to make their
and
case.
I agree with that. And as far as I'm concerned, we give him fair opportunity, and he didn't bother to join us. Tammy, you haven't heard anything from him?
No, I haven't, Sam.
But
Sasha or Sarah, you haven't heard anything from him?
no, Sam, but to clarify, I'm sorry if I missed it. Did we go back to him and ask him specifically for that information?
Unless Tammy did, I don't believe we did. I think we just asked him to join this meeting.
Yeah, okay, well, that, to me, that's an error on our part. And we don't have the same information from both parties. What it says to me is that, you know, the Mark and John's approach is a little bit more professional, and they were both under tight time constraints. Sean did give us something within a day's turnaround time, and maybe he didn't, and we also told him it was a one-page, you know, just tell us how much and how fast you can do it. We didn't say, talk about your normal detail. So, I mean, I don't think it's entirely fair.
No, I
But
agree, Sarah.
I also
Okay.
realize we don't want to, you know, hold ourselves up. If people are in general thinking that we want to go, you know, with a really nice professional bid that we know is sound, I mean, I would not voice major opposition, Sam.
I think that's a very valid point, and I would, say maybe give him, or see if we can contact him and give him till Tuesday morning, if that's reasonable to fulfill those things that we did not specify. So I would be willing to go along with that.
And you
I
have
would
tried to
say-
contact him tonight and he's not answering?
Right, Sam, I left a voicemail.
All right.
I would
Could
be
I
a-
say, I'm sorry, Kathy, go ahead.
Sorry, Sasha. I would be a little concerned that if we wait too much longer on the turn of Mars, he's going to be getting more work also.
Yeah.
And that he might not be able to get to it as rapidly as he can commit to it now.
Right.
Well, that's
So-
why I specified short term over the weekend and Monday, because the weekend it's difficult sometimes to conduct business, and Monday would be a day to, that's 3 days. I agree that we need to do this as quickly as possible, but I don't think that 3 days is particularly unreasonable and would compromise the need for would take into our temporal considerations that are of such a high priority. By God.
This is Frank. Can I add something in?
Yes, go ahead.
I think if we're getting back with Sean, we should also be requesting what his estimate of the cost of the new plywood underlayment. So the two bids will be comparable as far as the finished product.
I agree.
Yep.
Okay. If
I
we're gonna
have
give
one quick
Sean-
thing, Sam, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Whichever way we go, we're gonna be above what Sursa said they're gonna pay as of this moment. So I would just like to recommend that whichever bid we go with, we send along to TJ and consult with him as far as our grant opportunities for improvement and the other things that he's looking at on our behalf.
Okay, I spoke with TJ yesterday or the day before about exactly what you're talking about. And he basically said that once we contract the work to be done, it's very hard to get a grant to pay for work that has already been contracted. So
Right.
we're basically in a position if we're gonna do the more expensive roof, it's gonna have to come out of our pocket. I asked TJ, since that was the case, if he would kind of shift gears and start looking for money to complete the water meter replacement that is coming up here shortly.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was part of our conversation. So
Okay.
I'm glad that you talked to him already. Thank you.
All right.
I just have a question. The Sursa bid is just for the felt, right? Because the roof didn't have shingles or metal on it before.
What the roof had on it was rolled roofing, which is probably the cheapest roofing you could put on it, and that is what Sursa will pay to replace.
So that's kind of like just a heavy felt.
Well,
It's rolled asphalt. It's
Oh,
mildly more durable, and yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah.
basically
think
what
that's
most
why-
people put on their barns.
It's that thing that you keep putting on over and over and over instead
Right.
of really fixing something.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
With a
And,
lot of
of
roofing,
course,
with a lot of roofing, Dar.
And of course, Sursa's not going to pay us to upgrade from what we had
Right.
before. I kind of expected that when we turned it over to Sursa.
Well, and there was a depreciation on there also, so that makes sense too.
Right.
I didn't know that rolled roofing depreciated. I thought it was the bottom from the start.
Yeah, it's there and then it's not. Depreciates from whatever. Oh,
That's why we're thinking we need plywood.
yeah, but
Right.
It's
But
plywood.
that's the other thing though too. I mean, if we do run into more trouble, then we take pictures and we send them to Sursa and hopefully we get, we can nickel and dime them out of a little bit more money.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but
as
I
far as
think
I
right now
understand, it is what it is.
we got $500,000 in the bank, and this is not going to
What's
place
this
a
wee
serious
stuff?
a serious dent in our fiduciary resources. And the benefit of spending whatever the difference is, I feel is more than well worth it.
Yeah, and I happen to agree with that, Marty, totally, but I want to clarify that the $500,000 includes the town's annual budget of whatever it is, 400
I
and
know.
some odd, so 100,000. But
I
anyway,
know. Okay. I know.
But I think Chris's idea of, I mean, if we can do a fundraiser down the road or whatever to make up the difference, either way, we're going to have to bite the bullet and spend some money.
I have a great idea for a fundraiser.
I don't want to
So
know.
if we decide to go. Yeah. Liz likes it.
Okay, Marty, fill it. What is it?
It's called the first annual Get Your Shit Together Day, where people go around picking up all the dog crap that has accumulated, and we arrange for music to drive through town at the same time. We take money to, and whoever can, in different categories, pick up the most by using a shovel or a hand mechanism, and maybe someone could come along with a log chipper, and we could throw it in. And that's overstating the point.
Well, Marty, maybe some of us aren't ready to get our shit together. So
Right.
That's just,
I mean this in all kindness, but could we sum up our conversation?
You betcha. That's what I was trying to do, motivate.
Okay, if we're gonna wait for Sean to have a chance to respond to our questions, do we want to schedule another special meeting next week, or do we want to wait until the following Monday and deal with this at the regular board meeting?
I think we need to meet sooner on this.
And the next meeting?
How about Tuesday evening at 6?
Absolutely.
That would be fine with me.
And if we don't get anything,
yeah.
I was going to say if we reset the meeting for Tuesday meeting at 6, if Sean gets back to us good, we'll use his information. If he doesn't, we'll proceed without it.
To make a decision and definitely decide.
Yes.
On Tuesday night, certainly.
Okay, Tammy?
I'm good with that.
Tammy, are you here?
Yes.
Can you send out an agenda for a meeting on Tuesday evening? And also, can you make contact with Sean and tell him what we want? We would appreciate very much if he could join the meeting on Tuesday so we could ask questions, but at least answer the questions that are on the table right now.
And what are those specifically? What are those specific questions?
What are the specific questions for Sean?
Underlay cost.
Go ahead, Sasha.
What Marty said, the cost of replacing all the ply with 3/4 so that we're comparing same to same. His specific timeline and warranty information for the metal roof.
Okay.
Right, and taking into account that no matter what we decide, Turner Morris may have an inventory of material, whereas it would need to be ordered. And that, I think the information we got from Sean was it would be about 2 weeks minimum to get that stuff, to get the material. So that's another element.
Get
Yeah,
that-
if he could modify, let us know his latest thoughts on the timeline. Because what bothers me is, you know, we got a rainy season coming up, and we got to get this roof on, and you know, we can't stall around much longer.
Did you get all that, Tammy?
Yes.
Okay, so if you could make contact with him and ask him those questions and ask him to join us at our meeting on Tuesday night, that would be very much appreciated.
Okay.
I think we're about done here. Does anybody have anything else?
Nope.
One thing on
No.
Tuesday, at Tuesday, we're gonna be in Wyoming, and I don't know if I'm gonna be near Wi-Fi or anything. I will try to call in, but if I'm not here, I'll go with whatever the board decides.
Okay,
If you submit a list of the questions that you personally have, we would certainly be able to include them. So if you think about that and get it, you know, just transmit whatever those questions are, I think we could certainly accommodate at the very least
Well, I
that if you
I think
can't
the
get
questions that Tammy's gonna be asking Sean, probably would be totally sufficient. And then
Okay.
just deciding pretty much, I think it comes down to which company you think is gonna be the most reputable and will be able to, you know, be called in case something happens that needs to be replaced or fixed or something on short notice.
Okay.
The only thought I have with you not being present, Kathy, is that I have to recuse myself. So then I think if there was a tie, then you would have to be a tiebreaker.
Okay, I can probably call in, but you might not be able to see my little face.
Okay.
we can't see
Colin
my
is-
face tonight.
Colin is-
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, me too.
No comment.
So
Okay.
are we done then?
I believe we are. I hope everybody got out. I sent out a email with the draft of the short-term rental ordinance. If everybody could look that over before the next regular meeting, I'd appreciate it. I'm hoping to get that on the agenda for the first reading for that meeting. So take a look at it and see what you think.
One other thing I have is we went down and looked at the tree. And I know, Tammy, you have all this stuff to do. If you get hold of Excel, if you could just send out, you know, an email saying what Excel said about the tree. Because it's big and it looks like if it's going down, it's going to go down on that pole across the street. It's not going to go down
Right.
just power lines. It looks like
No, it's going to go down in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big
And I
tree.
think a cherry picker to cut off, you know, sections of the top on down. You can't just cut that tree down. It's going to fall on something.
One good thing about it is when the tree goes down, we'll all know about it because we'll all lose our electricity.
Yeah, but I think it's going to cost Excel a lot of money if it goes down because they'll have to replace the pole and the light and everything associated with it.
Right.
I mean, I think it's going to take down that whole corner because the direction in which it's leaning, you know, kind of at 45 to the creek. So.
Tammy, have you made any progress since yesterday when I talked to you on that?
No, I didn't call Lee back, but I looked for Alvarado Tree Service and I didn't find anything, so no, I did not make any progress.
Okay, I did talk to Lee last night and he was going to try and find that information and get it to you. Obviously, if you haven't heard from him, he hasn't got that done yet.
I'll try and find it too, Tammy. I know I have it somewhere.
Okay.
If I find it over the weekend, I'll give him a call.
Okay, you could text it to me or something like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
It does look like the roof is priority, but yeah, if anything that could be done with that would be probably wise.
Yeah, agreed.
You.
You
Okay.
guys, I'm afraid I have to scoot.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
how
apologize.
about just giving us a motion to adjourn?
I
So
move,
move.
So move.
Second.
Second.
And third.
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah.
here.
Aye.
Yeah.
Howdy.
All right, good night, everybody.
See y'all
Talk to you
Tuesday.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Be
bye.
safe.
Be well.